Hey y'all, welcome back. I have some cards for you. The thing I'm doing tomorrow, something that I've been putting off for a long time, and I just have to get it done. So I'm getting it done. And congratulations to you too. If you are doing something, or you've made an appointment, you scheduled an appointment that you have been putting off scheduling for a long, long time, taking care of something, props to you. The first one that came out is Plant Growth, and this is a spell from the Dungeons and Dragons Paladin deck. It says on here, the spell channels vitality into plants within a specific area. There are two possible uses for the spell, granting either immediate or long-term benefits. That's really, really important for someone determining whether they're putting their vision, their focus, their intention into immediate or long-term benefits. Maybe there's a way that you're doing both, but being very aware and intentional about that. I want to add that one of the main purposes of all of the distractions around us are to block your awareness of how powerful it is to channel energy into long-term benefits rather than short-term ones. Distractions are programming us to only pay attention to instantaneous results or near instantaneous results, and to always be questioning whether long-term results are a thing. Like, if you can't see them immediately, did it really happen? Is that cause really related to that effect? How do we know? How can we prove it? But it says you can exclude one or more areas of any size within the spell's area from being affected. So, another way of choosing where in your life to focus this growth energy. All plants in a half-mile radius centered on a point within range become enriched for 1 year. The plants yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested. And it says that is the case if you cast the spell over 8 hours. So that's the casting time, 8 hours. Seems like a long time for the casting of a spell, but that's one of those things. Sometimes it's really this prolonged focus, prolonged action. If not action, then an intention held for a prolonged amount of time. The category the spell is in is a transmutation. We also have Banishing Smite, and the duration is up to a minute, so this one doesn't take as long. So, banishing is often related to protection. Maybe there's something that you're being called to protect yourself from or with, at least for a certain duration. Maybe it's the duration of casting this spell, the plant growth, or it doesn't have to be plants. Apply it to wherever it needs to go in your life. It says if the target is native to the plane you're on, the creature vanishes into a harmless demi-plane. So we're not hurting anybody. While there, the target is incapacitated. It remains there until the spell ends, at which point the target reappears in the space it left or in the nearest unoccupied space if that space is occupied. So it's like a little distraction. It's taken out of your reality, this person, place, thing, or idea that you're feeling called to protect yourself from. Sometimes you can protect yourself from something just by acknowledging it. It doesn't necessarily need to be a spell casting, though you might feel like that is something you are called to do. Either way, I think what is being asked for here is getting specific, getting honest with yourself about what these things are. Let's get a little more info. How are we growing this part of our lives, this idea? Okay. So whatever this is, how are we growing it? Oh my gosh. Okay. Come to the edge. You see how she's dancing? She's doing it in such a flowy, creative, and loving way. She's got these rose petals that she's throwing, and she's sort of floating on this island here by herself. She's not looking which way she's going. She's not too concerned about where her next step will land her. And she's not seeking refuge in others right now. You could be coming up toward what appears to be a giant trench, abyss, void of some kind. And I love that I'm getting a chance to talk about this tonight, but it is not the easiest thing for me to talk about. There is a emptiness that is ahead of you, and that emptiness is not a permanent state of being. It's something to sit in and be with. If you've been in the void before, you know that it doesn't last forever, but it will last as long as it needs to last. I was talking before about all of the distractions, and it's very easy to bypass the power of the void and avoid the void. It's tempting to want to jump immediately to the silver lining of something, to feel regulated immediately. Once you start feeling dysregulated, it can be tempting to pathologize the emptiness or to tell yourself that it is depression or delusion. But in a lot of the sacred texts from various places, they talk about just being, or the dichotomy of emptiness and form, or illusion of that being a dichotomy. For some people, there's a liberating experience if you're able to sit within the discomfort of the void, some part of your identity that is being broken down. And the reason that's happening is because it's what you asked for. You asked for blockages to be cleared from your path. Well, many of the blockages are internal. They can just be hard to see consciously. But if you stay in that, just acknowledge that there is emptiness here and be with yourself in that place of emptiness, something will happen. And you'll also become more familiar with the void and the emptiness so that next time it shows up, you won't meet it with so much fear. And I'm not saying that you've never experienced the void before. Maybe you have or you haven't, but it is a process to recognize the form that it takes because it can show up in different ways. Sometimes it will feel like depression, sometimes it will feel like anxiety. Sometimes it will be an existential crisis or a dark night of the soul. It could be a combination of these things. There are so many different ways that this void state can appear. And so sometimes, even if you are someone who has been to the underworld before, you won't necessarily recognize the current manifestation of what that symbolizes. And also, if you've been on a positive trajectory, you may encounter a void state and take it as a sign that you're not on the right path. And that can be an energy that can cause you to spiral. Not for everybody, just for somebody. The next card is Poised. Came out upside down too. She is fully ready to receive the gifts from above and also to praise or show gratitude for how far she's come so far. So for somebody, they're a little unsure about this energy, and that makes total sense. With this come to the edge because you're seeing something. You have the potential here, if you stay in this, to see something that you haven't seen before and to liberate yourself from that. Whether it's an idea, pattern, an ancestral thing. For some of you, you have this, you are in the correct position to do whatever needs to be done with the information that you receive in this void state. To see it for what it is. It's a gift. It's like the star. There's three stars, four, five, six, seven. There are seven stars on this card. And the star in the tarot is about liberation. It is about freeing yourself from what you are not. This is one of the interpretations of the star. So for some of you, you're poised to recognize that liberation. And for some people, you're still unsure. That doorway or that threshold may look scary. It may look like something that you have been trained or manipulated into believing is bad. The other two cards came out. I'm taking as sort of the other side of the bridge here. And we have new life. Yeah. So there are these signs pointing to the past and the future. And then this person is holding a flag that says you are here. And there is this egg, which is like the infinite opportunity, the endless potential. And there's a doorway. That can be terrifying for some of us, right? The infinite potential of the present moment. How do we decide? What do we do? There are so many paths and directions. It's going to sound cliche. Only you know, only you can decide. That's the cool part about it. I mean, you wouldn't want somebody just coming and telling you what to do with your life, right? You get to figure that out. The only person who can go through this portal here is you. And it's exactly at the time where you arrive at the present moment. There's a person in my life, a friend, a good friend, is making a lot of really brave decisions right now. And I'm so proud of her. She has been listening to her heart, and she's leaving a situation that is not good for her. And she's known it wasn't good for her for quite a while, but for the longest time, she honestly believed there was no other choice. And enough happened. She experienced so much externally that it really sent her on this inward journey again. And she found the doorway to the present moment, and she found that there were more options than she previously perceived there to be. And not only that, but even though she isn't fully out of that situation yet, she is fully utilizing the place, the space that she occupies, using her voice, using her will to benefit herself and others. She is not waiting for a future state to embrace her power. And she is not calling on the past as a mechanism to diminish her power. It's a really beautiful thing to witness. And it is life-changing. And that's why this new life card came out after. And she's emerging from something. There is also behind her there is a carved stone head. I don't know if it's Toltec or Incan or something else, but there's this ancient wisdom. There's a flower that is blooming. The person is on a pedestal and they've come out of the egg. They've emerged from the egg. The egg is cracked around them. They also have fairy wings on. So the egg of infinite potential has matured and the new human has come out. There's a lot of radiant light emanating from this person as they emerge. And they're being supported by stone. And also it looks like ancient wisdom, that head in the back. They don't seem to be hiding the fact that they are a fairy. So if that's significant to you. So on the other side of looking at this void and sitting in it and allowing there to be emptiness, instead of rushing to name it or pathologize it or soothe it, there's this idea that we are entitled to safety and to feeling regulated at all times, or if not entitled, that it's best if we always feel regulated or always feel safe. And there is this doubt or this poise, depends on what side of the fence you're on. And then we have, yeah, the present moment and the portal with the egg, and then emerging from the egg with a new life. If this is you, if this is your reading, I just want you to recognize all of the inner work and everything you've done to get this point. And just want to say good job. Like there's no words. It's so funny trying to speak on these things is hilarious sometimes because the words just don't necessarily measure up. But I'm gonna do it anyway. The card in the bottom of the deck is flexibility right here. There really is something about that, being open to change, this mutable energy. I wonder if you have any major placements in a mutable sign. The mutable signs being Virgo, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces. Doesn't have to be your sun sign. Doesn't even have to be your rising or your moon sign. It might be somebody else. The last card that wants to come out on the bottom of the deck is Observer. Observer, seeing something for what it is. This is a fox that is observing the moon, if that means anything for you. Maybe it is coming in for poise or something to do with that because this is number 48 and this is number 49. So if you're having issue with fear, see if you can drop into that observation mode. The fox embodies a trickster archetypical energy. So see if you can have fun with it. It's that thing about getting curious, playing, noticing the humor in things. And the other message that's coming through is related to flexibility. There's this idea that if we change, we are wishy-washy or unreliable, or that people should be able to expect a stable personality, or like they should know exactly what to expect when they talk to us, work with us. On some level, that can be very helpful. However, we are not automatons. and your ability to be flexible will not only help you on your journey tremendously, it will also naturally show others that they are allowed to be flexible. They are allowed to mess up and come back. They are allowed to try things in different ways, to experiment, to explore outside of the boundaries of what we're told is possible or normal or societally correct or socially appropriate, even. Because a lot of things that are considered socially appropriate are demented and or insane. And I'm not supposed to comment on that. I'm supposed to just leave that there. Okay, cool. So that was the message. Don't forget to focus your intention, plant growth, as well as protect yourself. Do protect, banish, however you feel called to do that as you are coming to the edge, because this is not easy work necessarily. Is it light in the sense that you will liberate yourself from something through it? Yeah, absolutely. Like this is highly worth doing. This is work that is highly worth doing, but you do want to fortify yourself and resource yourself to make sure that you have what you need to sustain yourself through it without getting lost in the infinite cathedral of labyrinthine backroom type of stuff, whatever. Not saying that's going to happen to you. I'm just saying, like, don't keep yourself stuck if you don't need to be stuck there. Allow yourself to see what needs to be seen. Remind yourself there is emptiness here. If you are feeling that void, don't push it away. Don't name it. Don't jump for the silver lining. There is emptiness here, and that's okay. All right, really big stuff. You got this. Feel free to comment if this is your reading. I'll see you again soon. Bye.